You can indeed model your documents to suit search within your own application, or as we're exploring here, transforming what goes into the search index while leaving your original documents alone. Over the next several minutes, we'll cover these scenarios: finding documents with a specific number of items in an array, basically the computed search pattern; skipping documents that do not need to be searchable; removing a field containing sensitive information that should not be searchable while allowing the rest of the document to be searchable; reducing the number of dimensions of vectors and vector embeddings for Matryoshka represented vectors for relevancy testing, various dimensions, and reducing resources needed. And finally, textualizing a document, concatenating all searchable or embeddable text into a single field. If you're in any of these situations, then partial or enriched indexing is for you. Let's dive into the first scenario. Enriching the index with the size of an array. You need to query by the number of elements in an array. Perhaps you're keeping an array of dates a customer shopped at your store. After 10 visits, the customer gets a discount code. We run a job every night to find all customers with 10 or more visits that haven't already received a code, email them a code, and set a code sent flag. Using a standard aggregation pipeline match expression on the size, a complete collection or index scan runs. We could have our application implement a computed pattern with a counter field of number of visits, and we would then have to ensure in our application that the visit date array and its companion count field are kept in sync. Rather than our application having to maintain and sync another field, an index can be built from a standard MongoDB view that adds this additional field automatically on the back end to the search index. Here's the example. We have a couple of documents. These documents have, each has an array of different sizes. And if we used a match expression here on the size of the array, we can see that the winning plan is a collection scan. It would be an index scan if we actually indexed the values field here. Either way, it's not going to be very performant at scale. So what we can do here is we can add a view pipeline, and this view pipeline adds a pseudo field, a field to the search index itself, not on the original documents, that computes the size of the array at index time and stores and indexes that value in the search index itself. And we can take a look at the view, and we'll see here that the view presents the new field that we created. And at that point, we can now create a search index off of the view and then do a search on that computed value. And voila, we're able to see the document, match that document in a very performant, scalable manner. There's really only one additional step needed to use an enrichment view index, creating the view. The view is given a name, which is simply called view in this case, and created against the docs collection. The view has an associated pipeline that adds the num values to each document with the size of the array of values. And then from that view, we can create a search index. We create an index off of the view itself. We give the index a name. In this case, we call it the view index. And this is a search index, not a vector search index in this case, but this flag here tells us which type of index to create. And then we create the index with this particular configuration. Now let's explore partial indexing, skipping documents that should not be searchable. You could have billions of documents in a single collection where only a small fraction of them are searchable, should be searchable. And it'd be good to reduce costs by not having to shard and scale the search nodes. And you want to make indexing time vastly faster by just not considering those documents that don't need to be indexed, eliminating the need to filter out documents during querying. Here's the example. We have this is just a contrived example. We have a simple single document that has, or two documents here. One document does not have the archive flag, and the second document has an archived true flag. Our view pipeline here has a single stage, a match stage, that matches on whether the archived flag is true or not. And only documents that are not archived are passed through to the search index. And looking at the view, we can simply do a find on the view, and we only see that one document that is not archived. And then when we do our search, in this case, it's just a degenerate search here that only looks to see if the document has an ID. So effectively matching every document that is visible from that view. And the results are only that one document is returned. Even though we're matching every document that has an ID, we're only matching every document that has an ID in the search index itself. Before this was available, customers with large collections with lots of documents that shouldn't be searchable required that the collection be sharded in order to handle the scale in the search nodes, wasting money and resources for docs that will never be surfaced because the search time query always included must not archived true. Here's our next example. Here's a view trick to skip fields. There might be a field in your collection that should not be searchable, whereas all the other fields should be searchable. And in this case, we have an example document that has a private field and a public field. And we just want to make sure that there's no possibility that any term in this private field would be searchable. Our view pipeline uses the set stage here to remove the private field using the special $$ remove expression. And now we can look at the documents from the view, and we only see that there is a public field, not a private field. So that's what our search indexer, our document indexer, will see is only this one document here and this one field. It won't see the private field. And now if we do a search for the word private on all text fields indexed, we get no results. Our next use case for search on views is flattening the attribute pattern, a very common pattern in the database. However, it's not a pattern conducive for search because with MongoDB Search, field names are the key to the index itself, whereas in the attribute pattern, it models the attribute name as a value under a generic key or K field name. So here's the example. We have a document that has the attribute pattern technique here, where we have an array of attributes. Each attribute has a key field and a value field, and the values are, of course, the values there. And we want to reshape that document for the search index because we really want color to be the field name and the red to be the value of the color field. So we can use a slightly more advanced technique here within the view pipeline to add a new structure to the view that will be seen by the search indexer. So we create a new field called flat attributes and mapping the previous attributes, the original attributes. We pull out the key and make it a field name, and we pull out the value and make it the value of that field itself. So now looking at the documents from the view, we can see we still see the original attributes field, but we also have this new flat attribute structure where color is the field name and shape is also a field name. So in our search pipeline, we can do a query on the flat attributes color field and with the value red, and we can see that it matches this document. The examples we've just seen have all been lexical indexes built off of the views. Vector indexes also can be built from views. So here we're going to see a pipeline that slices Matryoshka coded vectors into lower dimensional vectors, allowing our application to take advantage of quicker, cheaper query embeddings and test the relevancy cost trade-offs of each of these different dimensional vectors. Here's the situation. We have a document that has an 8-dimensional vector here, 8 values. We want to slice that vector using a view pipeline, and we're going to add 2 fields to our view documents where we slice off the last 6 values or slice off the last 4 values and give us a 2-dimensional vector or a 4-dimensional vector. So our documents now have all of those vectors on it. We have the original 8-dimensional vector, and then we have a 4-dimensional vector and a 2-dimensional vector with each, again, with truncated for that. And in this case, we've built a vector index. This vector index is going to query the 2-dimensional vector and get the results back. And this is the result of that. This is the create search index that's used with that vector example where we had multiple dimensions. You can add each of those different dimensional fields in here, mapped appropriately from their field name to the number of dimensions. This allows us to have different sized vectors in a document, again, for testing out various relevancies of different dimensional vectors. Our final example here is textualizing a document by concatenating a single searchable embeddable field together from all searchable textual fields in the document. This can be really useful for full text search scenarios where which field is being queried is not relevant. You just want to see if there's text in that document somewhere. And so it can really improve performance and query simplicity by simply querying a single field that has all of the text associated with a particular document. So here's the example here where we have a few fields from a movie, and we're going to concatenate all of these fields together into a single string. It's a little bit tricky of a pipeline here where we use this concat and we need to reduce when we have an array, but ultimately we end up with a document that has a new field and has all of the text concatenated together with spaces in between or new lines so that there's a gap between the words for the full text indexer to see. And in our search pipeline here, we're going to simply make sure that it has a descriptive text here. But we could query for any of these words in this field and find that as well. This is also a really useful technique that can be used with the upcoming auto embedding capability because the auto embedding will vectorize a field on the back end, on the server side, so that you don't have to concern yourself with the embedding model and embedding text yourself. However, it's very useful to have a comprehensive, descriptive, semantically complete view of a document that can then be vectorized. So building a concatenated string and vectorizing that is a very common and a useful technique when it comes to semantic search. Besides the concrete examples provided, you can also convert data types such as decimal 128, which isn't supported by search currently, to a double. That way you can index your decimal 128 numbers at the double level. Or you could convert object IDs and Booleans to strings for faceting and much more. So here's the steps needed to create and use a view with your search index. First, you create a view, you give it a name. In this case, we're naming it view, and against the collection docs, and you provide a view pipeline as we've seen already. And then that view is used for create search index. We create a search index off of the view, give that index a name. The index itself has a type. It's either a search index, a lexical index, or a vector search index. And you provide the appropriate index configuration given the fields that have been augmented during the view in that configuration. And then you do a search or a vector search off of the view index, so off of the index that was created from the view here. One thing to note is that in the create view, there are only 3 stages that are supported within that view pipeline. You can add fields, you can set new fields, which allows you to also remove the field with the $$ remove trick. And you can use a match, as we saw with the partial indexing, with an $ expression so that you can use some logic to match documents or not match documents to feed the search index. While developing a view, it is useful to see the results and adjust before creating a search index. We've seen that a little bit through the scripts so that you can see the output of a view. You can also use Compass. It's a great way to develop a transforming pipeline and to see the results of a view. Have a look here. So in this collection right here, we have the original docs collection. These just have the arrays. This is the original example with arrays. and doing the count. And then we created a view off of the docs collection, and that view has been augmented with num values. So it's a great tool to be able to see the results of a transforming view. And there we have it, your documents filtered or transformed for an enriched search experience.